Hi guys, so this is a tutorial on the snkrs bot. So when you first download the bot, you're going to get a file that looks like this. You're going to want to extract it into its separate folder, and inside of the folder you want to have all the little files. So um, when you first download the bot, you're going to want to open up the setup, the proxies, and the account file. So in the setup file, which we're going to do first, under username you're going to put your name here, so mine's Chief. The timer, this is your local time. So in Canada, Eastern time, most releases are 6 a.m. And so I put the 6 hour, no minutes and no seconds. If you're in another area, you're going to want to do this in 24-hour time, and this is your local time. So please make sure that you do the timer correctly. Your region, my region's Canada. There's Russia, Malaysia, Australia, and a bunch more. Just make sure to put your region here. The type, this is your proxy type, so this relates to your proxies.txt folder. You're going to want to note the proxy type that you have. So if we go into the proxies folder, you're either going to have a IP port proxy or an IP port user pass proxy. So to know which one's which, you're going to look at your proxy. If you have 1 colon, it's an IP port proxy. If you have 4 colons, it's an IP port user pass proxy. So if you have an IP port proxy, you're going to go into your setup and you're going to set the type to IP. That means that your proxy are IP authenticated and they do not use a user and password. If your proxy has 4 colons, you're going to do pass. That indicates that your proxy is a password proxy. For the moment, I'm going to use no proxies, so I'm going to set the type to none. Next, in the accounts file, which you can find the setup in the Discord. I'm not going to go through it just because my accounts are in there, but you can go through that yourself and you can put your accounts in your accounts file. So once you have your file set up, you're going to come over to the snkrs.exe and you're going to double click to start it. It's going to walk through the beginning. It's going to ask you a few questions here. So this is the timer setup. If you have inputted a timer, or if you don't want to use your timer at all, you can put N and that won't use your timer. Or if you want to use the timer for the drop, you're going to input Y. So in this case, I'm going to do 2 setups. So this one's going to be with a timer. So we're going to use my timer, which is set up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so I'm going to input Y. For this one, I'm going to do an automatic login. So I'm going to do the value of N, and it's going to automatically log me into Nike. So if I click enter now, it's going to say I have no proxies, and it's going to open up the browser. Here, it's going to automatically log me in using my details. It's just a burner account, so there's nothing to steal. So here we go, it's logged in, and it's navigated to the product page. And so here, if you go to the command prompt, you're going to notice that it's going to be waiting until the 6 a.m. time. So at 6 in the morning, it's going to refresh the page. It's going to choose a size and head to checkout, fill the CVV in, and that's going to be that, and it's going to submit your entry. So now I'll do one with the manual login, and I'll go through some issues that some members were having. So if we double click on the snkrs.exe, you'll see that it's going to load up the same, but this time we're going to do, let's do a constant size search. So if we're going to do N, a constant size search is basically when it goes on the page and it's not going to use your timer. So it's going to constantly be looking for sizes, and in the case that Nike doesn't automatically load sizes at 6 in the morning or whatever time your drop time is, it's not going to find your sizes. So if you are running a timed drop, I recommend using the timer, but there are users that didn't want to use the timer, so I've put this in specifically for them. So I'm going to do this one without a timer, just to show you how to do this without a timer and with manual login. So without a timer, we're going to input the value N, and then it's going to ask us if we're going to do manual login, and I'm going to say yes, I want to do my manual login. So now it's going to show the account email and the account password, and a lot of you here were having issues. So what I usually do is if I have an issue, I'm going to duplicate the tab. I'm going to click on the here, and I duplicate it just so I know what my login details are. So I duplicate the tab, and I'm going to generate activity on the tab. So generating activity basically just sets cookies in your browser, and it allows you to log in without getting the connection issue. So if I click on the just some products and whatever and click on some sizes, this is how I generate activity. You can add things to cart, remove things from cart. Do this for about like 1 minute per tab if you are having login issues. If not, then just go ahead and log in normally. So now that I've generated my account activity, I'm going to go back to the login screen, and I'm going to input my username and password. So this is my email, and this is my password, and we're just going to log in. And you'll see that it logs me in right away, and it takes me into the home page of Nike. So with the manual login, you're going to notice that it doesn't take you to the product page. What you're going to want to do for this is you're going to go to New Releases, Sneaker Launch Calendar, and you're going to go on the product that you want. So for the Cactus Jacks tomorrow, I'm going to click on the Cactus Jack product, and it's going to load it up for me. And this is where you're going to want to be. So now it's going to wait here, and it's going to constantly be searching for sizes. Once it finds the size, it's going to attempt to check out, and then it'll be submitting your CVV and so on, and you'll have your entry submitted. You'll see that the browser doesn't show any pictures. This is just because it's able to load things faster and take time away from loading. So that is how to use the timer function, the no timer function, menu login, and automatic login. If you have questions, please let me know. Please open up a ticket. Please do not spam my DMs. But other than that, this is everything that you need to know to go over the release. There's not much more to it than this.